We are live. Hi. A live countdown right here. Hi, anime gaming buddy. So yeah, my apologies if I am gonna be not that into it because I'm rather tired today, but Justice never sleeps, so I won't either. So yeah, today we're gonna continue with the last case of Justice for All. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it today. I heard the case was rather long, but yeah. Are we ready to go? We are ready to go. It is time, everyone. Okay, so last time we just finished the interrogation of Old Bag, so I believe we're gonna do the cross-examination of Adrian Andrews next. March 22nd, 2:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian! No way! Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews! She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. Interesting. See, she could have also easily planted the blood-covered button in your Hakama. Good point. Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Probably. Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. I don't believe that. Yet. I still have my eye on you, dude. You are still very suspicious. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial is over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of the day. Yeah, also, another caveat. We need to declare him innocent at the end of the day, otherwise Maya is dead. Give me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix, you think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing last note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly ended herself. Sounds like she left the last note, and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Corrida. Well, to get the last note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? A tabloid article? Better stated, Mrs. Andrews' dependency issues with regard to Miss Impacts. Edgeworth? Oh no, he knows about that. That's not good. He will use that against us. It was Edgeworth. Yep. Looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. I won't, boss. Okay, we are ready for this. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. Prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Corrida's room. Hi, Nehru! No worries, you just came at the right time. We're gonna start with the cross-examination now, which is good. Why, hello! What is your occupation? I'm the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matangard. I see. Now then. Before I begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. I would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. Ah, no, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossip Land. Yeah, Judge. That totally shows you know about the situation. You totally don't know about this. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Kurita. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Kwan. But this was a private matter between Kwan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter. Or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. Ah, ha ha ha! I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. Okay, let's do this! When I found the body, it was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Pretty weird reaction for seeing a dead body. Not screaming, not backing away from it, just pouring a glass of juice. It's a weird reaction. You poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, sadly I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of the crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Yeah. Maybe it would have made more sense if it was alcohol. Phoenix, she is one cool and collected customer. And she has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Ah, pressing. Disrupt her pacing. She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. Oh, like when I press something and then I press further. I see. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand? I understand. Okay. Let's press everything. Okay. And what was Mr. Ongar doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his mini-performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. Ongar did say he was taking a nap. Then I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It? What are you... Right, I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Ongar's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object, right? Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. Wow, Edgeworth. And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture. One was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Well, press further. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon. What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim. Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at that time. I can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. Maybe we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room? Okay. You were in shock. What? Wasn't that supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person. And despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Kurita. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. You can seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. That's actually exactly what I was thinking. I see. Okay. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too. Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what did you do next, witness? Juice. Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Then why did you pour it in the first place? Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Kurita, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank. I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. Ah, bingo! What was she starting to say just now? Say it, say it! Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry, it's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Ah! Okay. But flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards! It was originally on top of the dresser. But when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. But why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. Well, it fell onto the guitar case. Okay. What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try to take one's pulse, so to set the glass I was holding down on the dresser. Oh, so that will explain why she didn't drink from the glass. And that's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of herself. That's what she would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality. Doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now. I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to keep on the offensive and not let up. The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence. I have to find something. I just have to. For Maya's sake. Okay. After that, I went to Juan's room. That body. The exact same scene. Okay. My mic pop filter is just not willing to stay still today. Stop moving. Okay. Okay. I want to see. Sorry, I'm struggling again with the pop filter. Maybe I have to sit straighter. You may not see it in fiction, but in reality it's there. There. Now it's straight. Okay. Give me the crime scene photo. It's the exact same scene. There is no water in the guitar case. So it wasn't the same as in the crime scene photo. Let me see the guitar case again. No, not you. There's some water, but on the top. It wasn't... The guitar case was messed with. She did touch the guitar case. Okay. There. Onto does not mean into, lady. Bingo! You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. She did touch the guitar case. That's very true. Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case. What is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shots should be inside, not outside the case. What is your point, Wright? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. Bingo! But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Somehow, I believe that there is a deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? Of course. The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this. But it is you. Of course it's me, Edgeworth. You know me too well. I can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along. For now, Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Whew. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. After? But that doesn't make sense. Why is there water on the guitar case? What? It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Okay. It looks like this really wasn't an important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. You missed our ramblings, huh? Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using anyway to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. Why am I just imagining that this is his way of flirting? Shivas, I need to stop. He's not flirting. He is insulting us. I need to hear more about this. This doesn't hold up. So you opened the guitar case then? Yes. Well, maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Karina's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open a guitar case. See? Exactly. Same logic, only a different object. As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic... She has been saying multiple times that she opened the guitar case. Are there fingerprints on it? No! It's only Karina's! Bingo! She didn't open it! There is no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Haha! She's lying through her teeth! What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? You liar! There are fingerprints on the glass! Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, I know. Now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. She's so lying! I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems that the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. That is strange, Your Honor. You were wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? The glass! I have your proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange? That you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case. Ugh. Whoa, that was a very quick replacement of glasses. Poor her, she just lost $300 right there. Order, order, order. Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. Well, it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. Huh? But then what was in it? But the bright red guitar was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. Let me think. What was in the guitar case? What was something that was not at the crime scene, but was a part? Wait a second. The samurai costume! That was it! The samurai costume is in the guitar case? Why? I admit, it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided... No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. At one point it had to be opened. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you are so sure, Wright, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing. You don't mean to suggest the bright black guitar? So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, right? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? Save first. Wait. I can't save! I can't save here! Oh, that's terrible. That is awful. Okay. Then I need to trust my gut with this. It's only 1 life point. It is the samurai suit in this photo. It's the only thing that was not at the crime scene, but was an important part of it. So yeah, risk-taking! This is a photograph. And it is a correct photograph, Your Honor. Yes, but what is important is what is in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture? It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. Oh, I can save now. Perfect. Okay. We're at a good point in time. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? She was in the costume! I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, he managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? Yes. If Adrian left without the costume on, 1, Lana would have a scoop on her hands, and 2, she would be so suspicious. It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Mad on guard. Why would something of the defendants be in the victim's room? I don't think it was on guard's costume, because he was sleeping in it. And inside the guitar case of all places. True. That is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? It was a spare, Your Honor. Mr. On Guard did not take off his costume during the break period. In that case, the costume we were talking about was a spare one. What? Then are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Yes, that is what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was in the guitar case? It would mean that the victim himself brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. Interesting. Why oh why would he do that? But why? The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the German ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? No! At least not completely, but I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was... Okay, let me think. There was... Wait a sec. I believe that... Why am I pausing? It's so awkward. Okay. Didn't OnGuard say that he had no idea about the press conference? Maybe Kurita arranged it. What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference. Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. It was that! I heard about this as well. For once you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. OnGuard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. Yeah! Yeah. Do you know something about that? But how can that be? The way I see it, that can only mean one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Kurita himself. The victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Kurita was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai. He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold the conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Kurita, posing as a Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt OnGuard. Oh my god, is he such a sore loser that he was going to talk bad about Mr. OnGuard in his own costume? Man, talk about sore loser. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession. That's public disclosure. Miss Andrews? I can see why you're a pros at what you do. Pardon me? She knew exactly what was gonna happen at the conference. Yes, just as you say. This press conference was set up by Juan. Yes! Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him. That was also me. You! Juan had to bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. My goodness, it was just one award. Shebas, you could just go at it again next year. Oh well. Maybe it was... I think it was like a streak of losses, maybe? And with rivalries, they will always badmouth each other anyway. So I think Juan just had enough and went through with it. He was going to ruin him, huh? Looks like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Really? What? And do you know what the secret of Mr. OnGuard is, Miss Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. Is she lying or not? Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. Were you? Protect Mr. OnGuard? Evidence would suggest you were trying to frame him. And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Yeah. I don't believe for a second she was trying to protect him. She was trying to frame him. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Protecting Matt. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course. The button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. This does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. Are you? We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I am ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. Okay, let's see. Why did you have that feeling? Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. Ugh. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things. Motive, an opportunity to commit a crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school. At least, not from what I remember. It really should have been, though. What? What is this law school you went to? May I continue now? So would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes, do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Madame Guard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony if you please. He went to those... Sorry, I need to finish the sentence first. Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? I think he went to one of those, like, evening schools or something. Like, not an official school, but like those online courses that you take. He went to, like, an online law school. And only had, like, 1 week to study for the exam. Probably. Has Mr. Angard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? Sorry, the phone is going off. I will be right back, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back. I apologize. Stupid phone. Oh well. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out? The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. On Guard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however. Ooh, this by the judge. He needs to release his own diss track. My goodness. The judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy. Hey. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then what about the button? The button. Clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jam Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the pleats of Matt's Hakama, isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence. Ugh. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept this defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Why can't she read my thoughts? I never questioned that. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. Okay. And how do you know that? When the ends of the threads on the bottom and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly. Or so I heard. I've heard that before too. But why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you are not. Ugh, and I thought I had her this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here, but where and what? Everyone can read Phoenix's thoughts for the sake of comedic timing. Yeah, Phoenix does seem like the type of man who wears his emotions on his sleeve. So you can just read what he's thinking right off him. Or has a tendency to mumble his thought process out loud. That can also be the case. It sounded a little wishy-washy. I'm thinking that as well. Something about the struggle. Strong decisive evidence, yes. Button was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt. Okay, let me see the button again. It's covered in his blood. But the only way that is the case was he was strangled first and then stabbed. So it wasn't ripped off during the fight, otherwise there wouldn't be any blood on it. Where's the crime scene photo? Let me see. Yes. There's no blood under it. So the blood should have come on after he was stabbed. So what I believe is that it wouldn't be possible. One sec, I'm gonna save. Okay. I think this doesn't add up with it. Otherwise, there would be no blood on the button. Bingo! Yes! Beautiful. This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation. The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? It wasn't torn off during the fight, it was after. Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off of the costume when? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly, which means it is impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle. Because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There is no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was cautiously pulled off the victim's already dead body. Order, order, what is it? Whoa, what is the meaning of this right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? To frame On Guard. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There is no way anyone would put a bloody button in their own pants. That's right. Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then? Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard, is... I'm conflicted by this. She did want to frame him, for that I am certain, but I don't think she killed him, to be honest. But for the sake of progression, Miss Adrian Andrews, I choose you. You are Mr. Korea's killer. Okay, Phoenix, Pokemon. Mr. Phoenix is a Pokemon trainer now. What? Order, order, order! Mr. Wright! This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that can support your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. Now she's struggling. Then, but what about the button that was found in Matsukama? Didn't we already say this? This button was removed after the victim's body had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own hakama. Ugh. She has a lot of glasses. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's hakama is the person who went to wake him from his nap. Which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes, indeed, she was the classic face discoverer of her dead body. And to top it all off, there is this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Oh, this is not good. This is really not good. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time. She really is not a killer. She did the framing, yes, but she did not kill him. Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. What? Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. That's what pleading the fifth means? To testify... To refuse to testify if it means incriminating oneself. So she did frame. She did frame 100%, but she did not kill him. If she says that out loud, then everyone is gonna think she's guilty. Actually, thinking back to yesterday, Mr. On Guard's room? Adrian Andrews. Von Karma and her mischievous ways! She told her all this! Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? Oh, right. That's what she said to her. That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things looked bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done. What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to prove a single piece of definitive proof. Prove that Miss Andrews did, in fact, harbor a wish to murder Mr. Kurita. I have a bad feeling about this. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Kurita? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it will be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I will be guilty of due to my silence. No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow we've landed in the worst possible situation. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify. and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. Really? Really, Judge? But that's not true! It's... In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And that tomorrow's trial... No! No, 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 no! No! Maya's life is at stake! We have... No! I refuse! No! Tomorrow! We don't have tomorrow! If we don't get a guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. Trial, please continue to trial! What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it! This isn't about that! Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial Please, let the trial continue! Sorry. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... He finally gets it! Please! But it's impossible to continue as long as a witness refuses to testify. Now, this court is... Yes! Yes! Edward, thank you! Thank you. It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but... Actually, there is one little thing I'm curious about. Miss Andrews, when you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. Exactly! Exactly. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again, as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we found out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. Ah, Edgeworth! You are so good! I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. In this case, he's a friend. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. Yes, he is pulling through. He actually does have a heart. A glass of juice. I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan was sitting slumped over and tired looking into the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something. So I went in to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Let's see. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there is a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you? In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely. I couldn't have said it better myself. So it was a mess. Are you sure it was a messy because of your fight with Mr. Karita? I understand your frustrations in not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. And then, what did you see next, witness? Slumped over. Yes, he was just sitting there, with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is this me, or did that right there sound a little odd? Then what did cross your mind? Well, maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix. And then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. In a chair? That doesn't make sense. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see. So you didn't think he was dead at all? You thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first. But then the room was in such a messy state. I thought maybe he had gotten into a fight with someone. And that's when you went off to pour the glass of juice. Yes, he always has a hard time waking up. So Juan always had a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see. And after that, what happened next? And how did you come to realize that he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backward and knocked over the flower vase. So that's what happened. Yes. This is what it all comes down to. Huh? This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now is our best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. Is that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, will you tell us the truth this time? I have an idea. Something about... It's weird. Well, she did say earlier that this room was the state it was in when she arrived. If what she says was true earlier, then if she noticed him slumped over, but she didn't see the knife? Maybe? It's a bit far-fetched, but... Let me see. But which statement should I contradict over? This one said that it was odd. So... This one? No. 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 That's not when she realized he was dead. When I realized that he was dead. Bingo! It was that! So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body. A knife in the chest. What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There is a knife sticking straight out of Miss Sakurita's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that there was a dead man. That's... well, you see... I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted. And then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is... Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly. That you are the real killer. No! Oh no. It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matangard, is not guilty after all. I don't know how to feel about this. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Melangard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. That is true. There is no breakdown. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matangard. Your Honor, prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. He knows it too. He knows something's off. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute, real truth. The absolute real truth? What are you... Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Mr. Angard will go free. And in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over. And Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm scared. It's Franziska von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of others. Oh my gosh. And von Karma reassured her that everything is gonna be fine if she kept quiet. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Matt Angard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now. And is clinging on to them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get or not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you, please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help, please. Someone help me. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. The court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did. And what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there. Right? Yeah, when you say it like that, it's not a good look. Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? It's not over yet. It is so not over yet. Force her to testify. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you are really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. Angard would get an acquittal, but in his place, you will be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What are you gonna do? What a shame. He's going to guilt trip her, probably. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However, what is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Is he gonna say what I think he's gonna say? Stop. Mr. Edgeworth? This witness... How should I put this? She has an illness. He is going that far! What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit the act in the past. Stop. Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. That's... No! I knew we weren't gonna bring it up, but he just did! He actually did! That's the second part of the act report. The attempted act report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please, please stop. I beg you. If people find out. If people find out. I'll... If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. What are you saying? What? Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? Not just cold, that was cruel. However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk. Please, help me. Sheebus, Edgeworth! Nothing matters anymore. My crime. Jeebus, Edgeworth, what? When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure that there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. Then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. That's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume. She did everything but the murder itself. Stop the body! With the knife! Why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all of this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but... This is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again. Just like last time. Last time? So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Corrida, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with the murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this is her crime. What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. I don't think there's anything to contradict here. I think she's telling the truth. But you could tell from the state of the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say that you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. That scarf is part of the Jamma Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice. What is this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because Juan, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. So he lied that he knew about the press conference. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence to pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. Hi Yikachu, hello. We're dissecting having a confession right now. It's about to be crazy. First thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. Okay. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. So you were the one to stab the victim with that knife. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moves on its own. Then, when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used a button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Engarde's Hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? The inconveniences were the two witnesses. An inconvenience. There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lara. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. Old bag! That's Miss Oldbag for you. I'd already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once. So I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is this secret? I think you partly know what it is, otherwise you wouldn't have conspired with him. That I don't know. You do know, you just don't want to say it. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we've heard enough. So, after that, you went back to Miss Engarde's room and planted the button. Into Matt's Hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word! What does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Engarde. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sent me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. Because she did not kill him. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor! The defense still... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. Okay, Maya is dead. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. No! You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. Strange we can point out that there's no evidence left to implicate Matt Engarde. To be fair, we're in the middle of a hostage situation right now. And if we implicate Matt Engarde, then, well, Maya's dead. So, I don't think it's in our head that we want to implicate her right now. But that is all. Court is adjourned for today. Oh, oh that hurts! Oh, that hurts! The courtroom is empty. Let's sneak in! Oh. this trial... It's over. And I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Huh? No evidence to implicate him, so they don't have grounds to view him as the main culprit. Huh. Yeah. That's also weird. What was Edgeworth gonna ask? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. A shell. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But as long as this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? I think this has everything to do with his murder. Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why... Witness! That card! Give it to me! Hurry! Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This... I can't believe you hid this from me all this time! I didn't mean to! What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? And what does it mean? Interesting. Alrighty! Before we start with the next part, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Also, I will at one point, if I feel a bit weakish because I've already had a busy day today. If I at one point feel like I'm about to collapse, I'm gonna take like a piece of candy and chew it for a bit. If I'm suddenly gonna be quiet for a hot minute. My apologies if that happens. I'm fine for now, but it will still happen. Okay, let's go. What is this card? Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! Ah, right. Yeah, she's dead. Rest in peace, Maya. There, Pearls. I can't take it. Look, it'll be alright. Everything may still work out. The condition was that we had to get a not guilty verdict. And so far, the kidnapper has kept his word and hasn't hurt Maya. And he won't because Mr. Angard hasn't been given a guilty sentence yet. Cheer up, we don't have time to stand around crying. We have to get going. You're right. Mystic Maya's in much more pain than I am. Yes, that's right. So... Hey, you guys! Glad I caught you, pal. Hi, Gumshoe. I need some levity right now. Because, I have a feeling my best friend is dead. Mr. Scruffy Detective. Oh boy, looks like Detective Gumshoe has been dubbed Mr. Scruffy Detective in Pearl's book now. It's just plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe now, and I came to talk to you, pal. He's been fired? No! But we're kind of busy right now. So what are you going to do from now on? What do you mean, pal? Well, you've been fired, right? So do you have a new job lined up? Oh, that! What am I supposed to do now, pal? I don't have anything coming in at all until my next payday. What are you talking about? You don't have another payday! You didn't realize! Oh my. Gumshoe will be our new assistant now. I guess that means I'm just gonna have to work here at your place, pal. A bit too soon, Gumshoe. Maya just died. Say what? You'll be searching for things that will prove Prince Guard's innocence all day, right? Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to help you, pal. I've got lots of experience in investigating and watching other people's places. And I'm good at making really simple meals, pal. I'll take care of it all. Aww. Come on, Mr. Nick, let's Mr. Scruffy Detective take care of things. Okay. By the way, what's your best dish? Instant noodles, pal. Why am I surrounded by people who only eat shit unhealthy foods? Cup noodles taste very bland in my opinion. I prefer the actual article. Rip our outfits and our guts indeed. That was the first time I've ever seen Mr. Edgeworth act like that. Every time he'd say something like he didn't care if Miss Andrews ended herself. He said that? That's horrible. And because of him doing that, we got the truth finally. The truth. Miss Andrews' last testimony, I wonder if that was the truth. I'll give you that there was nothing strange in her testimony itself. But I still think there's something fundamentally wrong with the whole thing. Yes. You mean about that thing, pal? Why would she want to... No, I mean almost needs to frame Mr. On Guard. I couldn't figure that out from anything she said all day. Then you're saying that testimony was a lie? Not a lie per se, it just feels like there's more here than meets the eye. Or that's what Edgeworth would like us to believe. But that's such a dirty trick! And even that woman prosecutor was better than that. Franziska von Karma. Speaking of Miss von Karma, do you have any more information on her condition? Wasn't she shot this morning? Miss von Karma was shot today on the way to the trial by a pistol, pal. But she's going to be fine, right? I mean, Edward says she was in stable condition, but... Well, she was shot in the shoulder, so she's okay and still hanging in there. a bit symbolic, but she's gonna be fine. She's gonna be fine, guys. They should be done taking the bullet out, so she's probably resting at the hospital. Which one? What? Are you going to visit her, pal? No. Well, I was kind of thinking about it. It's okay to be concerned, Phoenix. Hey, you've actually got a heart, don't you? Of course I have a heart! How dare you? How dare you say otherwise? She looked like she was being tortured to death, not being able to go to trial today. So maybe it'd be good for her if you went and let her whip you for a bit, pal! Let's go! Let her whip us, Mr. No, I'm definitely not going. Let's see. The name of the hospital. Oh yeah, the Hottie! No, not that place! That name sends a chill down my spine. Exactly. Well, I guess it can't hurt to stop by and say hi. Yeah, oh, God. I have a feeling we're gonna see him again. The one who will not be named. Never thought I'd ever come back to this place. Ah! Yes, are you here to visit a patient? No! Die! Why haven't you died yet to her whip? Ah, hi! Wait a second, you're... yes, I'm Director Hottie. Why are you still here? Yes, what is it? Can I help you? You can tell me. Yes. The second one to burn in the fire. No, I will bury him alive. That's the best punishment for him. My God, I'm such a psychopath today. Director Hottie. Oh, Edgeworth. Edgeworth. Yes, I'm Director Hottie. Oh, you're the man from this morning. Yes, what is it? Director, Franziska. How is Franziska von Karma? You don't need to worry. Yes, she's in good hands. Because you see, I'm personally taking good care of her. Yes. Yes, and that thing. that surgery. It went well. He doesn't know he's not a doctor! Oh no! Oh no! He legit thinks he's a doctor! You have my gratitude. He really does! Oh, poor Edgeworth, he's so distressed he doesn't realize. Looks like Edgeworth doesn't know about his director and his secrets. She looked so beautiful. Absolutely terrified. Yes. But I understand. Yes. Her opponent was a gun after all. And when I snuck up on a real secret, like, she would scream really loud. Ah! No, you will be buried alive. My god. I see. Ah, but she's really cute too. When I do that, she whipped me up with her whip. Boy, did I cry like a baby. Yes. But I think I could get used to it. Where's the whip when you need one? Yes, I think we should immediately, I think we should do Francisca's approach and just whip him. Ah! Yes! Yes! Finally! Thank you. Go back to your room. You're so mean, so mean, my frisky Friska. But that's good. Ah! Okay, yes. It's time for my IV drops. Yes. Thank you, Von Karma. Thank you. She looks fine. And what are those tulips doing in your hands, Mr. Phoenix Wright? We brought her flowers. That's so cute. I knew I shouldn't have come here. Get well soon, flowers. So cute. I was shot in front of the courthouse in my right shoulder. But it's no big deal. This sort of thing happens all the time. I even had full intentions of running the trial this morning. What? But that would have been too much for you. There's no need to act tough in front of us, you know. Regardless, I was dragged here by that man over there. She's left-handed indeed. He was so unyielding, one has to wonder if he was simply interested in stealing my case. This is the only logical course of action, given the bullet was still lodged in your shoulder. But by taking over the case, I find myself having to clean up after you, and that irresponsible deal you made. I think I know what deal he's referring to. Miss Von Karma, you made a deal with Miss Andrews yesterday, didn't you? I don't know what you mean. In order to make sure you got your guilty verdict on Mr. On Guard, you told Miss Andrews to not testify in court today. I don't know what you're talking about. We have proof that I made such a deal. You're denying it? It looks like you were lucky, Mr. Phoenix Wright. If I had been in court today, this trial will already be over. All while hiding Miss Andrews' own crime. That isn't my problem, whether she had tampered with the evidence or not. I have only one objective. To find On Guard guilty of murder. The end justifies the means, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The end justifies the means. I disagree. Miss Von Karma, Adrian Andrews believed you when you said, if you don't tell the truth of what really happened, then On Guard will be found guilty. And what does that have to do with me? Because of that, she is now in danger of being found guilty herself. All because she believed in your words until the very end. That still has nothing to do with me. She's just a weak person, that's all. Jeebus, that's cold. But you had to know she was... Ow! I think visiting hours here are about over. So, if you'll excuse me. What's wrong? Why did she suddenly cut you off? Probably because she thinks I had the advantage in that argument. Edgeworth. What happened today at the trial, Edgeworth? That was not like you at all. I mean, I know you knew about Miss Andrews' condition. You could have made her testify as many times as you wanted, but to go that far? But she wouldn't testify about that until I said something. Listen, Wright, the courtroom is a garden of judgment. I am putting myself on the line when I stand in there. And that's why I made the witness do the same. It's only natural. I disagree, but whatever. By the way, Edgeworth, you were really angry in court today. That's rare for you. Yeah. He was frightened about that card. Very frightened. What is it, Edgeworth? That card. What in the world is it? You mean this? Listen, Wright. This is top secret information. You absolutely cannot leak this. Special Investigations Team has existed for a number of years, but few know of it. I understand. The task is to find the owner of this card. A man called Shelly the Killer. The Killer! We're not gumshoe, Edgeworth. Yeah, you can trust us, but... The Killer! He's the kidnapper! And just as his name states, he is a killer. An assassin. The best at that. Oh. I am now thinking... Matt was sleeping in this room the entire time. And the assassin did it. Otherwise, why would his calling card be there? An assassin! We have the card again. So, who is this Shelly the Killer? The Killer is the name of a long-standing line of assassins. Long-standing? The name first appeared about 100 years ago, I hear. Shelly is the professional name of the third heir to the Killer name. So, because his professional name is Shelly, he leaves cards with a shell on them? He has a habit of making sure to leave a card by the body of his victims. Why would he do something like that? We think it is a part of his duty to his clients. His duty? If he leaves a card, then his clients can be assured it was he who killed the victim. It also serves as insurance against any charges being pushed onto his clients. Because they would know it was Shelly the Killer. But Adrian didn't think that. She didn't know about the killer. So she did frame Enguarde. And because of that, because Enguarde was on trial to be found guilty, Shelly kidnapped Maya to make sure he was found innocent. That's the truth! That's the whole truth! I figured it out! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! My gosh, if that is true, Matt really is a monster. I see. The killer values the trust between his clients and himself above all else. It seems that this is one honorable assassin with a moral conscience. Guess that even honorable assassins can exist. So you think this assassin, you think he's the one who did the killing in this case? It would appear that way. The discovery of the card basically confirms it, wouldn't you agree? Shelly the Killer, huh? Well, yeah, we need to tell you. I noticed something at the trial today. You were behaving in a very strange manner. Is something the matter? Well, yeah, Maya is dead. I guess I should just tell him. Maya... she's been kidnapped. Kidnapped? What does a kidnapper want? An acquittal. I see. I had no idea. I will prepare a rescue team as soon as possible and resolve this by tomorrow. Thank you, Edgeworth! Really? Did you hear that, Mr. Nick? Mr. Edgeworth is going to... Stop trying to console me, Edgeworth. I don't need your pity. Mr. Nick? There's no way you can find her. We don't even have a single lead to go on. There's only one way to save her. I have to get an acquittal somehow. It's the only way. Right, listen. You need to know something. Juan Correa was killed by Shelly the Killer. And the client who ordered the job is Man on Guard. Your own client. Please, stop! I can't listen to you! I can't believe that! I see. Well, if you want to continue your investigation, you will need this. What is it? The hotel right now is restricted to police personnel only, as we are looking for any clues that might lead us to Shelly the Killer. But if you take this with you to the hotel, I'm sure they will let you enter. Thank you. In any case, I must attend to the preparations for Maya's rescue team. We'll meet again, if anything should happen. Now, if you'll excuse me... Yeah, he already knew! He had the same gut feeling I had. That on-guard was suspicious. Do you think this on-guard hired an assassin? No way. I mean, he doesn't have a psyche lock. He said that he didn't kill Karita. He didn't say that he hired a killer to do it for him. Yeah, I guess not. Maya, please, all I ask of you is to make it home. I guess even kidnappers can be a little clumsy. Clumsy enough to drop a card like this for me. And even though he said he was an assassin, I bet he's just making that up. Like how Nick does with everything in court. Anyway, let's try out the card trick with this card I just found. Sounds like I got the door open. Okay, time to go take a look around. Yes, we can move. What is this place? Huh. What is this place? I got a feeling I'm not in the hotel anymore. And those videos over there? Well, I'll worry about that later. For now, I should be looking for clues. That way I can show them to Sis and maybe get out of here. Crawl in the cat door, Maya. There's a framed picture sitting on this coffee table. It's a picture of a woman. She's kind of pretty. Hey, looks like something's written here. Let's see. I think it says, "With love, Celeste." Bet this could be a clue. I don't think the killer would hide in his own house. So, why? That's weird. What is a figurine doing on a sofa in a place like this? I think it's a bear? Aw, how cute. But it's got a lot of cuts and slits on it. What if it's some kind of puzzle or something? Locked, of course. It doesn't look like I can use the card to open this door. There's a little hole at the bottom of the door. If only I was a little skinnier, maybe I'd be able to crawl through there. Aw. Oh, hey, it's a computer. I've never really used one before. Really? Oh, right, early 2000s. I have no idea where the power switch on this thing is. Drat, there goes my plan to use this somehow to get out of here. Satellite? What is this thing? An antenna, I guess? This is a VCR? There's sure a lot of electronic gadgets here. But what is an antenna doing here? Oh, this simply will not do. I cannot have you wandering around at will. Ah! Oh. Ah! It seems that your Mr. Wright is truly concerned about you. He is? For now, I would suggest you remain cooperative. If you cannot, there are ways in which I can help you. Wait, you mean? Dead men tell no tales is how the saying goes, correct? Dad? I'm almost certain I told you on our first meeting. I am an assassin. No way, you're lying! I mean, an assassin? People are not always who they appear to be. Nick! Oh, no. Oh my gosh. Mr. Nick? Huh? Oh, yes, bros? Got caught up in my thoughts about my situation. His actress has left, you know? Guess for now I have no choice but to believe in Mr. On Guard. Still trustworthy indeed. He looks like a stand-up gentleman, that man. I think I should listen to his story one more time. Alright, let's get going too. Okay! No, I will not stay here longer than I have to. Let's talk to On Guard one more time. I'm sorry, but visiting hours are over for today. Aww. Ugh, I have too many questions I need to ask. I'm sorry, but I'm Phoenix Wright, a lawyer for one of the... You're Mr. Wright, you say? Oh yeah, there's a message here for you. A message? It's from Madame Guard. Ah, here you are. What did he write? Is it something really important? I don't know. Well, let's see what it has to say. To Mr. Lawyer Dude, I've got something really important to tell you. Why do I feel uneasy all of a sudden? Oh, Mr. Wright. So, actually, I have a favor to ask of you. I have this cat named Shu. I didn't put out a lot of food when I left the house, so he's probably pretty hungry. You think you could drop by my house and feed Shu for me, dude? My house is just a little ways down from the hotel, right? Aww. He still likes cats. This is terrible! Let's hurry, we have to feed his cats! I'm sure poor Shu's stomach is growling by now. Yeah, we need to feed the cat immediately. Client's request is a request. Guess I should go check up on his cat. Where do I find his hotel? Alright now, Mr. Nick. Let's go look for clues. We have to for Miss Maya's sake. You shall not pass! Miss Old Bag! Don't devalue my name and turn it into a guest, you spikey-headed pettifogger! Because of you, I've been made it look like the bad guy again! I know, I did get a piece of gum from Edgy Boy, just as he promised. Well, I really want this was something more valuable. Why? What? Ah! Miss Old Bag! Keep your hands off me! This helmet is airtight! No air gets in, and no air gets out. Then why do you keep putting it on? Don't think you can get me to move with silly questions. You're going to have to defeat me if you want to get by. I'm not hearing this. Living room. The on-guard mansion. Oh, he has a mansion. Sure is dark. I'll go turn on the lights. Wow, so this is what the star's house looks like. Must be nice to be rich. What I don't get is the motorcycle just hanging in the middle of the room. Won't you just hit your head all the time on it? Rich people are weird. Come on, Mr. Nick, let's go find Shu, the kitty cat. Follow the mouse. Maya's right there. And we don't know. Oh no. Still Samurai and Co on the right. Yeah, he is a Nickel Samurai after all. But why are his photos on there? It's Will Powers who acted those roles. Why is he... But still, Maya's right there, Nick. Shoo! Oh, Shu! So I guess this is Shu. Oh, what a lovely cat. Hello, Shu. Oh. The cat seems to like girls. Pardon me. Yep, Maya's right there. We don't know. Only I know. Because I'm a psychic, I guess. May I help you with something, Mr... Oh, we're lawyers. Actually, I'm Mr. On-Guard's lawyer. The Masters. Then you must be Mr. Wright. Yes. Ah, it's a pleasure to meet your wonderful self. I am the family butler, John Doe. Really? I would have assumed you were a butler to the hotel. Nice to meet you. Oh. You must know all sorts of things about Mr. On-Guard, right? Honestly, sir, I don't believe my master is capable of such a foul deed as murder. And, anything else? No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the master or his affairs. How typically butler-like, as it were. Mr. Doe, how long have you served at this residence? Well, sir, I would have to say... maybe about 1 year? You know he's lying, Nick. You saw him in the hotel. And, anything else? No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of himself and his affairs. You know, I would have thought Mr. On-Guard the kind to have a maid over a butler. That's a very cute cat you've got there. It is my duty to take care of him. The master rather fancies you. And, anything else? No, not especially. It's not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the family cat. Well then, I guess I don't need this piece of scrap paper anymore. Well, I'm afraid I must take my leave of you now. Oh, we should probably get going ourselves. Ah, so young, yet already so accomplished. A master of law. But there's also a lot to be proud of in being a butler. In charge of the house and all. Thank you for the compliment, sir. People are not always who they appear to be. Now if you'll excuse me. Oh. Maya! There's a small door at the bottom of the speaker door, Mr. Nick. That's what the Songguard's cat used. Oh, you mean Shu? The door, it's locked tight. Well, guess that's hard to keep nosy people like me from entering it. No! No! Well, I don't think there's anything else. I don't think there's anything else. Let's see. Can we do anything at the Criminal Affairs Department? Wow, everybody looks really busy with something or another. They're probably straining the evidence for tomorrow's trial. Hey, hurry up with them, will you? Pass the victims list around. You've got to be kidding. There's over 100 people on here. Mr. Nick, is Mr. Guard really that big and bad of a criminal? Actually, Pearls, never mind. It sounds like they're working on a different case. Yeah, no, one guard is away. I think we should continue investigating. Here you go. Allow the bear to really investigate the crime scene. Maybe if I show her this letter I got from Edgeworth. Miss Oldback, if you would look at... What? You want me to look at this worthless piece of... Ashy poo! Ugh, is that her perfume pheromone d'amour I smell? Ugh. Let's see here. Would you please allow this uninvestigated young person to conduct his investigation? Yours truly, Miles Edgeworth. Yours truly? That man's good at flattery. Fine, only because Ashifu said so, you understand? I just thought of something I have to do. Remember, no messing around. You do anything bad and I won't let you off the hook. Looks like she has strong feelings for Mr. Edgeworth. And he doesn't have strong feelings for her. That may be, but you know nothing's going to come of it. That's so mean, Mr. Nick. Feelings are meant to be told and shared. Ow! Every time we talk about love, I always end up with a handprint on my face somehow. So anyway, let's continue our investigation. Okay. Ah! What now? Strong feelings of dread and terror indeed. One little thing, before I forget. You can't go into On Guard's room today. Why? The police's main investigation team is going to be in there all day. You hear? Wonder if they're the team in charge of investigating the killer. So don't go in there. Set one foot in there, and you'll face the wrath of when they all bang. Okay. There's more things to explore than just... Looks like we're the only ones here. And yet, the hotel seems so busy somehow. Probably because the police team is scouring for clues about the killer. Hi, say boy! Lotta, you're still here. Working course? An investigative photographer eats and or starves on their ability to snap up the scoop, yeah? This hotel just had that aura of mystery. You know, like something's always about to happen. But do you have a camera? Right, given. Photographers gotta have cameras out the ear, like corn, to be a real pro, you know? So I'm hanging around here. Speaking of cameras and freeing them out, do you have mine, you bread thief? Why can't you drop that thief thing already? Old bag has your camera. I want to ask you about the night of the murder. What? You're really gonna shell out the box for the info I got? Lara, you were loitering in the hallway the night of the murder, were you not? Well, kinda, but... Brace yourself, Phoenix. Here it comes. I didn't exactly hang around for the entire time, you know? Followed a few stars around. Got a few autographs, shook a few hands. Had a soda pop with a few of them, too. Looks like she wasn't here the entire time that night. The curing lady also wasn't in this hallway the whole time either. Guess this means there's no one who can tell us who came and went that night. I see. So about the note that was inside your camera case? Oh, that ditty I wrote. Yeah, can I believe what you've written? You mean the stuff about Enguarde shoving his manager lady onto Corrida? Yeah. Ah, well, I reckon you're best not to be believing that. What? Look, I started working on a whim, you know? Writing whatever came to mind. Whatever came to mind? Yeah, when you get down to it, it's just a lot of random boulders. Hey, what's with ya? Why are you staring at me like Grandpa used to? Sorry, that was funny. Hey, why do you gotta look like you suddenly got older too? Why am I just shrinking here? Ah, my baby! My $600 baby! What's with that red-coated prosecutor anyhow? The guy told me it was evidence and refused to give it back to me. Well, that's kind of how it is. Hey, you're that Red Coat's friend, ain't ya? So put in a good few words for me and give me back my camera. You want me to do what? Listen, knock the guy real good for about 5 hours and I guarantee he'll give it back. Why don't you do your own dirty work? Well, I reckon it's time for me to get going. A tabloid photographer without a camera, it's just a tabloid, huh? Yeah, I guess so. Get yourself together out there, you hear? I'm coming to see you in court tomorrow. Okay, I'll see you then. Hey, you two there, little one. Give up the good work, okay? Okay. Don't be too picky about your food now. Okay. And make sure you do all your homework, you hear? Okay. And if you happen to find yourself a camera, make sure you bring right back. Would you please just leave already? Sheesh, rude. Not allowed in the room, so... The room of bears it is. Mr. Nick? What is that otherworldly, ghastly moaning? What is it? I hate evil ghosts! Ah! I don't think it's a ghost. Maybe it's a demon? Excuse me? What are you calling a demon, brats? What? Why are you here? Ah! Zoinks! It's the alien! Who are you calling an alien? Oh, it's just you, Miss Oldback. What are you doing here? What is wrong with yours today? I came down here to pay my respects to my poor Juan, and you're disturbing me. What? Please talk to me about the night of the murder. Just one more time. I talked about it plenty at the trial. I was fooled, tricked, deceived by that fraud of a photographer in a note. She was loitering around here with an imbecile look on her face. With that imbecilic look on her face? Okay, got it. Now hold on a second there, you little pipsqueak. If you're going to take notes, at least make me sound better than that. Oh, alright. Now I've seen everything. But you know, I was working that night too. Doing my job, minding my own business. So it's not like I had time to waste standing around here the whole night. I was wondering if you could tell me a bit more about Mr. Corrida. He was the most popular star. You know? Especially where it counts, in my book. But I heard that he was lagging behind in the polls against Mr. Enguarde. Well, that's just a recent thing. Bad luck and all that, you know? But he was going to become an even bigger star than he used to be. Look! Just look at this mountain of presents. It's a show of the mountain of feelings all his fans has for him. Yeah, the mountain of pets pretty big and certainly nothing to shake a stick at. Mr. Nick? What is it, bros? The presents, they're all bears, right? She's got a point. There is the single thing here that isn't a bear. All of Mr. Green's presents from his fans seems to be bears? Oh, that's because you can't think of one without thinking about bears. Bears? Why bears? You don't know? When my dear Kwan was training, he fought barehanded with a bear. He refused to give in and let the bear win. But after the fight, they became friends. Wow, what a heartwarming story! Look, just like in those young people's dramas, I can see those two tuckered out down by a river going, "Ah, you sure can fight. You too, Bob, you too." Did all of that really happen? It's in his biography, Bob. What a load of... So ever since then, fans have been giving him bears as presents. Yeah, nice, bears. Wow! I'm Uncle Bear and I say it's barely 8 o'clock. What is this infernal racket? It's one of the presents going off. Sounds like it's already 8 p.m. Way past your bedtime. Ugh, that startled me. Thought I was going to die for a second. 8 p.m. That's the time when the award ceremony ended that night, remember? Sure, time sure flies. Hard to believe it's been 2 days since the ceremony. Uh-oh. The transceiver. Hello? Hello? This is not the phone. Maya, how is Maya? You haven't hurt her, have you? It seems you were not able to fulfill your end of the bargain, Mr. Attorney. Yeah, she's doomed. I have heard the news. So it would seem my present did you no good. No, Miss Maya! Miss Maya! One more day, please. All I ask is for one more day. I'll get a not guilty verdict for sure this time, please. I suppose if I must. We dodged the bullet. Unlike Francisca. I need that acquittal more than anything else, after all. Please, please let Maya say something. I want to hear she's alright. Alright. Then a little... What is with the static all of a sudden? Hello, hello! It seems bad frequency. Connect. Damn it, did the transceiver just suddenly break? Excuse me? What happened? I don't know. All of a sudden, it became nothing but static. Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! Why did the transceiver suddenly break like that? Should probably have an electronics expert look at it. The sooner the better. Okay. His own fault for telling a lie like that in his bio if he dislikes receiving so many bears. I don't think he dislikes getting so many bears. Let's see, who is the electronics expert? Let's see. Let's call an electrician or something. Hey, welcome back, pal. I thought I'd make you a little something for dinner. That's nice, thanks. Rich man's luxurious full-course meal. Out of a can, that is. I'm sorry you went through all the trouble to cook, but I don't have the time to eat. Oops, looks like you don't have a can opener, pal. You've got to be kidding, and here I thought he had already whipped something up. Oh, I know. There is one way I know how to be helpful. Get the impression for something earlier he was implied to not want that many bears, but maybe I was mistaken. Ah, I see. Maybe I forgot. I don't know. Ask me anything you want, pal. Go ahead. Well, since he's here and offering, I wonder what I should try asking him about. The transceiver that is broken. The transceiver. Oh, Mr. Nick! You should ask Mr. Scruffy Detective about that thing. What thing? Oh yeah, this thing just up and broke all of a sudden. It broke, pal? When I was talking to the kidnapper, it just suddenly broke into static. Look, it sounded like this. I don't hear any static, pal. Huh? Maybe it's fixed itself? That's strange. I'm sure it was making a loud static noise. Maybe... Maybe what? Maybe it was electromagnetic interference, pal. Electromagnetic interference? So what is electromagnetic interference? It's something that happens when a radio wave gets mixed up with another signal, pal. Oh, when you put it that way. I understand what you're talking about. Like, for example, when a cell phone goes off next to a computer screen. The stuff on the screen gets kind of fuzzy and starts acting funny, right? Huh? Computer? It's like when you use a dryer next to the TV and the screen starts looking weird. Oh yes, the TV does do that! Oh, so that's what you're talking about! She seems amazingly happy at being able to understand this. So the room you were in with that interference to the transceiver happened. There's gotta be something there that's sending out very strong radio waves, pal. Something like... like a listening device or something? Hey, speaking of that, where were you when it happened? We were in Mr. Kirita's room, the scene of the murder. What? That's it! I'm going to sneak into the precinct and get a box sweeper. I'll meet you at the crime scene later, alright, pal? Oh, wait, Gumshoe! Oh yeah, baby, it's investigating time! I'm on fire, pal! My fingers are itching to go! Yay! Yeah! You should be going too, Mr. Nick! Alright, let's go! Let's go back to the room we were just at. Before we move into this room, I'm gonna take a sip of water. I'm actually doing kind of well. Doing what? I'm actually doing kind of well. Hey, you're finally here, pal! Sorry to keep you waiting. We have the box sweeper? Well, you see, I got busted trying to sneak in, pal. But suddenly, I'm staring at precinct doors. From the outside, I mean. So yeah, I couldn't get one of the police box sweepers. What do you mean you couldn't get one? We need that item! Hey, calm down, pal. I didn't say I didn't get one. Just not the police's. Wow, so this is a box sweeper. It looks a little broken. Hey, this was made when I was in elementary school, pal. Oh, by who? Me, of course. Seeing this shirt brings back memories. Hey, don't look so down on it, pal. Sure, it looks like a little beat up. But I put my heart and soul into building this puppy here. Your heart and soul? It'll work, trust me, pal. It'll do the job, but it can't set the sensitivity, so it's going to beep at anything that gives off electromagnetic waves. But isn't it better that way? Well, anyway, since I brought it all this way, might as well give it a whirl, right, pal? Why was he laughing? I'm getting that sinking feeling again. Okay, now I'll tell you how to use this baby. This listening device or some other sort of bug hidden in this room, pal. So we're going to find it, right? Right, so first let's turn the sweeper on. Next, move the sweeper around to give the room a real thorough look-see, pal. Sweeper will let you know how strong of a signal it's picking up, so we'll keep an eye on it, okay? Once you find something that's giving off a lot of radio waves, press enter to lock onto it. There's a lot of things here that's going to give off radio waves. Let's take a good look at anything and everything that seems suspicious. Alright, I'm going to stand outside and keep an eye out. Give me a yell if you find a bug. Got it, pal? Okay, so the phone... The lamp... Air conditioner, another lamp, another lamp. A phone. Radio. Nothing here. Why does the calculator give off radio waves? Hairdryer. Oh, remote. Laptop. This one. This one. Let's scan all the bears. The clock. Huh? Gotcha! This is just a giant stuffed teddy bear, right? It's the biggest one I have ever seen. Hey, so did you guys find it yet? The listening device, I mean. No, not yet, but this bear's eye is... Let's see. Perfectly normal stuffed bear with Some really strong radio waves. Sounds like you found a device to me, pal. Let's take this big fella's eye out and see what we've got. No, you can't! Such a violent act! Oof! No! Bingo! It's a miniature camera. It looks like there's more. There's a transmitter and a timer. Oh, what emitter? A transmitter, pal. Oh, is this more of that high-tech stuff? So this tiny thing is a camera. Yep, it's a pinhole CCD camera, pal. It's a small high-grade video camera mostly used in security systems. So it's a video camera. It runs on the battery, which comes with it in a set. But there's no videotape in this camera. This is the only camera part here, pal. The tape recorder with the tape inside of is somewhere else. Somewhere else? Footage is changed into radio waves and then it's sent to that recorder. So it's sort of like a TV broadcast, isn't it? Hey, you know, you're right. Set to record the victim's room from 8 PM for 1 hour. Was running at the time of the murder. So what is a transmitter? It's a device that sends the footage the camera took to a specific destination. It's like a video version of a listening device, pal. Looks like it's attached to a small clock-like thing. Oh, that's a timer, pal. You can set it to turn on the camera and record at a certain time with it. You can set it for a certain time? Yep, let's see. This looks like it was set to start at 8 PM and go for 1 hour. 8 PM. That was the time the award ceremony ended. There's no date set, so it's been recording every night, I guess. Mr. Detective, how long has this bear been here? I'm pretty sure it's been here since the night of the murder. Then maybe... Maybe this camera caught the murder on tape. What? And if you think about the angle the bear is at, it's bound to have had a clear shot of the whole crime, pal. Interesting. So there was a camera in this bear's eye? And it was disguised as a present. And if I'm sure it was here on the night of the murder, pal. It's pretty big, so it stands out pretty well in my mind. But who gave Mr. Karita this present? I don't know, pal. But this means that someone out there's got a video of what happened here that night. Isn't there any way we can find out who that person is? It's impossible, pal. Radio waves can be sent almost anywhere, so there's no real way to find out. Oh. Is there really no way to find out? I got it! What? Hey, pal, let me borrow this mini camera for a bit. What are you going to do? I'm going to go around to the electronic shops and see if I can find out who bought this. But that's impossible. I mean, it's already 9 PM. Leave it to me. Even if I have to search all night, I'll find your man, pal. Oh yeah, baby, it's investigating time. I'm on fire, pal. My fingers are itching to go. Yeah! Shivas. He's gone. Yeah. Mr. Scruffy Detective sure is a nice man. He's pushing himself so hard, all for Miss Maya's sake. It's mystery how you always manage to do things in the most inefficient ways, right? Hi! Hi, Edgeworth! You'll have to excuse me. I heard your conversation just now. Edgeworth, what are you doing here? Rescue team has been created and deployed. Amazing! Thank you! I can't say I'm optimistic, but we have to move forward, one step at a time. I see, thanks. Don't thank me yet. We still have to find her. So there was a spy camera hidden inside the stuffed animal, huh? You are one lucky man, right? Do you know this stuffed bear, little girl? I have no idea. Of course not. The maker of this bear is a very expensive luxury brand from overseas. Completely handmade, and only a small number of these are exported here. What? The camera and transmitter that Scatterbrain Detective took with him are dead ends. Things like those can be bought anywhere. However, this bear is different. By tracking how it got into this country, this bear can tell us who the buyer is. Can he really do that? Isn't that, can he really? Well, I guess so. It's 9 p.m. I think I can still make it in time. I'll be taking this for now. I'm sure you have other things you have to do. See you soon, right? Bye-bye! Wait! What? Why are you doing this? I have no interest in explaining myself to someone who cannot comprehend. But besides that, right? Until court reconvenes tomorrow, you should concern yourself with this question. Who was the person that murdered Juan Corrida? The real killer. I really still think it was Adrian Andrews. To be honest, I don't know anymore. You still have a little time left. Find the truth, right? Everything begins with the truth. Juan Corrida's real killer, Miss Andrews' past. The kidnapper whose sole condition is an acquittal for Mr. Angard. And this card, Shelly the killer. Maya, the only way I can save you now is find all the answers to this case tonight. I don't understand what your real intentions are, Edgeworth. But as you said, all I can do for now is find the truth. To be continued. We can still do one more part. I think we will save the trial for next stream. Which is unfortunate, but is what I have predicted. I will eat a piece of candy. Just pry it open right here. Excuse my chewing sounds. Probably not. Oh, hi, old back. Hey, wait! What is it, whippersnapper? No, it's nothing that has anything to do with you is ever good. I'm sorry, but when I'm eating candy, I'm like... I've had candy in my mouth and it's horrible to speak like that. I'm so sorry. Maybe I really should. Maybe I should get a better way to work around this. I need some energy to get me through this. I'm about to pass out. That's a bit over-exaggerated, but I needed some energy. Like just now, I was handed this strange device for who knows what reason. And I was told to use it to search the whole hotel. That's the bug sweeper, isn't it? The one Gumshoe made. I don't know. Frankly, I don't care. But the request came from Edgy Food, so... Edgeworth. And he said... If you feel angry, direct your anger at that unsophisticated lawyer. So I'm going to feel free to direct all my anger towards you! Ugh. Gee, thanks a bundle, Edgeworth. What a pal you are. This is absolutely top secret. You better keep it to yourselves. I heard they found a spy camera hidden in one of the presents. Very interesting. I'm sure it was. You know, it was to catch poor Juan in the middle of a scandalous meeting. Scandalous? What's that? It means, well, you know, that gossip that's been going around about my dear Juan. Oh, you mean that thing with Miss Andrews. But I'm sure she must have had some reason for getting close to Mr. Corrida. I'll let you in on another secret, youngin'. I know who planted that spy camera. It was that obnoxious, puffy-haired photographer girl. The nerve of some people. Spying on people by herself. As if I wouldn't want to see it for myself, too. Wow, the alien actually admitted her true intentions for a change. I don't know what you're thinking exactly, but I can bet it's nothing good. That didn't say anything. So you want to know about Kwan and that manager, right? Actually, as I hear it, there was something of a refreshing pair, those two. Oh? I tell you, Kwan really welcomed that manager with open arms, I heard. That manager? Who are you talking about? You don't know? The manager woman Kwan had. It's a shame she ended herself, though. Oh, you're talking about Miss Celeste Impact, Mrs. Andrews' mentor, right? Yes, that's the one. That Celeste girl. She was supposed to get married, you know. Married? You mean to Mr. Kurita? Ah, really? You young kids today don't know anything, do you? That girl Celeste ended herself 3 days after their marriage announcement. 3 days after their marriage announcement? What in the... Why would Miss Impact want to end herself? She was going to get married. Well, that's because she was thrown away, you see. By Kwan. What? But they were going to get married, right? They promised each other, right? They held a grand announcement session, but 3 days later, Kwan suddenly cancelled their marriage. Is that true? It was in the weekly magazines. But why? Why did he do that? That was not in the magazines, unfortunately. I see. That night after Kwan called off the wedding, that manager Celeste ended herself. How terrible. I wonder what happened between those two. I wonder too. On that night, there must have been at least a few hundred people here. I guess the police are done with their questioning and investigating. Looks like things in here in the lobby have finally calmed down. Ah, I can hear my thoughts for a change. So quiet. But we have no time. It feels sort of tense in here, doesn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it does. I wonder if something happened. You're Mr. Angar's lawyer, right? Ah, yes, sir. Well, we finally found just the person we've been looking for. A real decisive witness. A decisive witness? You mean for the on-guard case? We're taking the witness's statement right now. Gotta hand it to Mr. Edgeworth. What's Edgeworth up to now? Who is this witness? I think you know this person quite well, Mr. Lawyer. Mr. Nick? Between the kidnappers, the man, and now this, I can't see any way to win here. Oh yeah, Mr. Edgeworth wanted me to tell you something. He did? Even though visiting hours are long over at the detention center, he wanted me to grant you special permission, so there you go. Yay, thank you! What? I've already called them so they know. Go on, go talk to your heart's content. Thank you very much. That is such good news, Mr. Nick! Well, talk to your heart's content? Sounds like the police are pretty sure they have tomorrow's trial in the bag. I need to speak to you. Sure, they must have transferred Miss Andrews here by now. Oh, that means that both Miss Angard and Miss Andrews are in this detention center. Now then, whose story do I want to hear? I need to speak with you. What is your excuse? Dude, it's Mr. Wright. I hope you can get me off the hook tomorrow. I'm counting on you. I hope so too. Edgeworth just dropped a bombshell on me by saying that Kwan Kurita was killed by an assassin and that the assassin's client is this man, Matt Angard. What's wrong? Mr. Angard, there's something I must know with 100% certainty. You seem kind of different. You're totally not like your usual lawyer dude self. About the press conference. You mean the one where Juan was gonna dress up as a nickel samurai? Yeah, I heard a little more about it from Miss Andrews. Looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Could you please fill me in on what this secret is, please? Of course! Whoa! 5! I knew this was coming.
Mr. Nick, don't tell me.
Psyche locks. You said a secret, right? But I don't have any idea what it is. Do you, dude? Did you know about Mr. Kurita and Miss Andrews' relationship? Well, it's all over the tabloids, dude. Ah, but I don't know any of the details, if that's what you mean. Look, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't care what Juan did with his life. Miss Andrews, he had a purpose in mind when she started seeing Mr. Kurita. Her mentor was Mr. Kurita's manager. Miss Andrews was going to get Miss Celeste Impact's last note from him. Celeste. Does that jog any memories? Dude, I suddenly just got totally hungry. You up for pizza? My treat. Ooh, I love pizza.
Mr. Nick, what's a pizza? It's a kind of pea like green peas?
No, it is the best thing you will ever eat. Let's go eat one later, okay? I got off by the pizza dude at the shop. That's too bad. Well, how about we get our minds off this topic and talk about something else, okay? You don't say, Mr. On Guard. Are you connected to Miss Impax's ending in some way? Probably. Let's eat some pizza. Doesn't look like Mr. Scruffy Detective is here. Well, he's out there with that camera asking around at all the electronics stores.
Then I'll make some salad for him for dinner.
Aw, looks like Pearlies really appreciate what Gumshoe is doing for us.
Mr. Nick?
Yes?
Where's the lettuce?
I don't think I've ever bought lettuce before.
Aw, guess I have to give up on making a salad then.
Yes, the lack of lettuce is kind of a problem. So the real person who killed Mr. Kurita was...
the assassin, Mr. Shelley the Killer, right?
And the card Miss Andrews found at the crime scene seems to be proof of that. But if that's the case, then a new question comes to mind. Who was the one that hired the killer to begin with? Who was his client?
You mean who asked for the murder?
That person didn't want to dirty their own hands in blood. But whoever this client is, they're still a killer.
Who could have hired the assassin? Do you think it was Miss Andrews?
I wonder. If she was the client, then why go through the effort to stab the knife into the corpse yourself?
But if Miss Andrews wasn't the client, then... no, it can't be.
Matt On Guard himself.
If Mr. On Guard really did hire the assassin,
then he's not innocent at all. Far from it, he will be guilty for the crime.
But it can't be Mr. On Guard, right? I mean, when we first talked with him...
Mr. On Guard, I'd like to ask you one more question. Did you kill Mr. Juan Kurita? Alright, just so we're clear, dude. I didn't kill anyone. That includes Juan Kurita, okay? Didn't see any psychic locks at that time. Actually, that reminds me.
Did you remember something, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, something Miss Andrews said at the trial today. She said something interesting.
So what is this interesting thing?
Oh, that's right. You didn't hear it, did you, Pearls? Juan had bet everything on the Jam Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought, anyway. Looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed.
Mr. On Guard's secret? What is the secret?
I don't know yet, but for now, let's think about it this way. Mr. Kurita was going to reveal the secret. That means Mr. On Guard had plenty of motive to have Mr. Kurita silenced. Which means we have to meet with Mr. On Guard. There's no way around it now. Well, we already did. Now then, whose story do I want to hear? Adrian Andrews. Oh, it's you. I'm sorry to be visiting at such a late hour. There are a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight. Me? I thought your client was Matt. I'm sure Miss Andrews knows something. She can't be clueless about the secret Mr. Kurita had on Mr. On Guard. I'd like to ask you about Matt On Guard if you don't mind. Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean. You seem to bear a lot of resentment towards Mr. On Guard. If that's the case, then why did you become his manager? And why would you become intimate with his rival? That has nothing to do with this case. Nothing. No logs. About Miss Celestine Pax, I had finally put her death behind me. And now, thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface. I'm sorry. Yes, I was shocked by her ending. It was true that when I heard the rumor that Juan was the one who had hidden her ending note, her last note, I began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her last note back and to burn it. You wanted to burn it? But why? I didn't want it to spread just like another piece of gossip. But I never held any murderous intent towards Juan. I would never do something so stupid. The last note, huh? I wonder what it said. Why did you try to frame Mr. On Guard? That's simple. Because he's a killer. That's why. Isn't it the duty of every good citizen to inform the police?
But there had to be another way.
The police are excellent at doing their job, so they'd figure it out, right? Yes, they're so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death.
Miss Andrews.
Well, I know you're not the type of person to do something without a reason. So please, tell me why you did what you did. Revenge.
Huh? Did you say something just now?
A lock! Psyche lock, huh? Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer. To be honest, you're more like my enemy.
But...
I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say... revenge. Interesting. Oh, Mr. Wright, please, you have to help me. Uh-oh. Mr. Powers!
What happened? Why are you here?
You see, I got roped into this somehow.
What?
Now I'm going to testify at tomorrow's trial. So the decisive witness is Mr. Powers? I was talking with a detective until a little while ago, and I was on my way home. But all of a sudden, you there, you're under arrest! And I was brought back here. Oh. They said my face and whole self in general looks suspicious or something. Aw, not again! Aw. Well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked suspicious. I'm just a normal guy on an exercise show for kids. Is that a crime? So about this testimony you're giving, what are you going to talk about? I really don't know yet. But it sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me. You saw something important. What was it? Ah, well, the detective told me not to talk about it. He can't tell anyone, and especially not that lawyer, he said.
Who do you think is that lawyer the detective was talking about?
Of course, it's me! I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's me! Yeah, you got it.
Mr. Nick, Mr. Maya and myself are your only two allies in this whole world, but it's alright.
Ouch. I don't really have a lot of friends, do I? This is going to do a lot of damage to Matt, you know? Because he's got that refreshing like a spring breeze image going. But what is he really like? Well, let's see. Matt's always been kind of a player with women. Uh-oh. He'll never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. He'd always say it's just a game to justify himself.
What? How horrible! That's unforgivable!
Ow! Sorry, didn't mean to offend you. But, you know, he said once that there's only one person in the world who won't swoon over me. One person who wouldn't swoon over him. His manager, you know, Miss Adrian Andrews. Why is Mr. Powers suddenly looking kind of energetic? Ah, you see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. I mean, celebrities and their world have this dazzling sort of image, right? Aren't you a celebrity yourself? A dazzling sort of image, but aren't you a part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers? No, I'm more of a hairy, sweaty, smelly, brutish kind of guy, you see. But it's okay, really. I get to hear plenty of gossip about a lot of the other stars around me as things happen. Well, that's true. Oh, hey, so did you hear about this yet? About Miss Andrews' mentor and her act? You mean Miss Impact?
We heard something about how her wedding was cancelled.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought about it a little the other day, about that mysterious death. Hey, Mr. Wright, why don't you ask me about that? Go on, go ahead. Mr. Powers is so charged up, his skin is practically glowing with electricity. Hey, so have you heard this? Celeste left a last note. And they say that Juan went and hid it. We heard about that in court today. But there wasn't any actual proof that she had left a note. Well, this is what I think. I think that something bad was written on that note. Something bad for Juan, that is.
Something bad for Mr. Kurita?
Why do you figure so? Well, before she died, Celeste talked with a few of her friends. And she said, it looks like I got caught with a truly insidious man. A truly insidious man? Did she mean Mr. Kurita by that? Well, there's no one else that fits the bill, right? And that would be reason enough for him to hide the last note. I see. Well, that's some good info, thank you. You're welcome. Mr. Angard and Miss Andrews, they're both at the detention center. Still think that I don't understand or know about, I'm sure. I am being called! Hey, that's the Steel Samurai song, isn't it? I don't like the sound of this ringtone right now. Sounds kind of ominous. Yeah, I know. Hello? We're in trouble now, pal! I'll be back at the office really soon. What's wrong? Something really unexpected just happened. Mr. Edgeworth, Edgeworth! Anyway, hurry up and get back to the office, pal. I don't know what's going on, but... What? Hello? He got cut off.
What's going on, Mr. Nick?
Gumshoe said we need to go back to the office right away.
Then we should hurry back.
I'm scared to go back.
What are you talking about? Mr. Nick, pull yourself together.
Maybe it'll be good news. Somehow, I doubt that. My office. What took you so long, pal? Mr. Edgeworth's gonna stick around forever and had to go. Well, what happened? We got him! We know who bought that spy camera.
Eh?
This quickly? And this bear is what gave them away, pal. The bear. I figured it out, pal. I figured that I should have been looking into the bear instead of the camera. Ah, yes.
But wasn't it Mr. Edgeworth? I figured...
Shh, pearls. And, go on. There's only one person who bought one of those bears who's related to this crime.
Who is it? Who would be so rude as to spy on another person in their room?
Matt on guard. You are dead to me.
Huh?
Matt on guard, your client. That's who, pal. And here I thought things couldn't get any worse. Are you sure you heard right? That the person who bought this bear was... I heard it from the department store clerk, pal. This is a credit card receipt for the purchase. It's for $3,800, pal. That's an exact match to the price of that stuffed bear. A receipt. That's all you have? Nah, not just a receipt, pal. The store clerk said so himself. He told me I'm sure I sold the bear to Mr. Angard. I mean, the clerk even got Mr. Angard's autograph out of it, pal. So I'm sure the person that bought the stuffed animal was Mr. Angard himself. My sight is failing me. This can't be. So what about the spy camera we found? Ah, that was a dead end, pal. I mean, you can get this kind of thing from anywhere. But for now, I guess I can give these back to you for to file away into evidence. Thank you. I needed these. I know you don't want to give up, pal. I didn't think it was possible. The person who put the spy camera in Juan Kurita's room was Matt on guard. Why would Mr. Angard do something like this? But it was to catch Miss Andrews and Mr. Kurita in one of their rendezvous. I bet it's not good enough for me. I have to know the absolute truth behind this camera. Are you going to see him? Mr. Angard, I mean. Yes.
I'm scared, Mr. Nick. I wonder what we will find out next.
I'm scared myself, but I have to keep up a good face for pearls. Matt on guard. What in the world have you done? I think it's time to confront him. Yes! You're working really late, you know. It's already past 10 PM, dude. I think it's time you told me the truth. Relax, don't you know that ignorance is bliss? But if you really want to know, let's talk. Let's talk, alright? Bring it on! Matt's secret. Now, let's hear what the secret of yours is. What if Mr. Kurita had been successful in his plan? What would he have disclosed? I told you before, dude, I don't know. I don't know anything about Juan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I can keep on saying it until I'm blue in the face, but I totally didn't pay Juan any attention the whole time that night. I mean, come on, I was in the middle of a nap. Don't lie to me. Huh? I know you paid close attention to Mr. Kurita, especially on that night. Someone used this camera to secretly film Mr. Kurita's room the night of the murder. Secretly film? What? And then send the images the camera took with this transmitter. Wow, but dude, where was this camera you're talking about hidden? The bear! The spy camera was hidden in this bear's eye. A bear that was supposed to be a present from a fan. Bingo. I guess Juan had a few of those kinds of fans too, huh, dude? Actually, I wouldn't say this bear was a present from a fan. You sure, dude? Who else could it be from? The person who gave this bear to Mr. Kurita was... you! Mr. Angard, don't you know this bear from somewhere? I don't think I've ever met Mr. Bear before, dude. Aw, but he says he knows you. How could you forget such a great friend? What else did the bear tell you? He says that the one who put the camera in his eye was you, Mr. Angard. If I didn't know how you work in court, I think I was in some serious trouble. Come on, this is all a joke, right, dude? You're just pulling my leg. Looks like you're not ready to give up your secret yet. Well, do you have any proof you want to show me first? Here is proof that it was you who put the camera inside the bear. I have here one credit card receipt, Mr. Angard. It's from when you bought the stuffed bear. Dude, all you can tell from that is that I spent $3,800. I go to that department store all the time, okay? This $3,800, this could be the toothbrush I bought that one time. A $3,800 toothbrush. It's ivory. It's got elephant hair for bristles. Ew, elephant hair. Is that what rich people use nowadays? Anyway, the store clerk clearly remembers you and your purchase. After all, you even gave him an autograph, did you not? Dude, you should have said that earlier. So can I ask you one thing? Yes? You're my lawyer, right, dude? So if you are, then why are you looking into stuff like that? Because if I don't know the truth, I can't help you. Sounds more like stupid lawyer talk to me. Hey, let's stop talking about this, okay? No, not yet. I haven't asked why you set the camera up yet. And what your secret is, of course. It will be strictly confidential. So, what are you going to do now? I'm going to find out what I want to know. Because I must. The reason you hid this camera in Mr. Kurita's room and filmed it in secret is... those two. Adrian Andrews? There's a rumor going around that Miss Andrews and Mr. Kurita were having secret meetings. You, who is keeping tabs on Mr. Kurita, you were going to reveal this as fact and turn it into a scandal, isn't that right? Dude, you can be such a What? Oh man, Mr. Lawyer dude, that kind of scandal? That's the good stuff. That's what we had in the That's what we in the industry call juicy. The good stuff. Juicy. Look, we can get publicity without spending a penny with that kind of stuff. I mean, if people stop paying attention to us, then it'll be the end, dude. Too bad that wasn't your intention. What are you talking about? I wish your reason for spying was something so innocent. But it wasn't. You didn't spy on Mr. Kurita because of Miss Andrews. Then there's only one reason I can think of for you to do such a thing. The real reason you set up the camera in Mr. Kurita's room was... to make sure that the killer has done his job. What is this card? Maybe he doesn't know about this card. This is a certain man's calling card. The man's name is Shelly the Killer. And I'm sure you know of him, don't you? Shelly the Killer. That's ridiculous. Why would I know some shady scumbag like him? If you really don't know him, then why are you acting so jumpy all of a sudden? This is it. I'm finally starting to get to the truth. I can't afford to make any more mistakes now. Mr. Matt on guard. I know why you know Mr. the Killer. It's because... you're his client. Since you're the one who set up that camera, that means you knew. You knew exactly what was going to happen in that room. So, how? How would you know something like that? It's because you're his client. That's why. You hired Shelly the Killer to assassinate Mr. Juan Kurita. The real mastermind behind this whole murder is... you, Matt on guard. Say something. Try to get out of this. Huh? Try it. And here I was, trying to be a good boy for you, dude. Yes. I thought if you didn't know, you'd be able to do your job without feeling bad. Well, that's what I thought, anyway. Mr. On Guard, you really did hire... You did? Hold on a sec, I'm gonna consult myself, okay? Yourself? Consult myself? Well, I guess it's probably about time anyway. About what? About time for what? I think it's about time for you to meet him now, Mr. Lawyer Dude. How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matt on guard. Where did you get that glass from? Where did you hide that? You're in the middle of police custody! Not trustworthy indeed. Well done, Mr. Wright. I bet it wasn't easy to gather as much information as you have. You really... So you are Shelly the Killer's client. You didn't think I would dirty my own hands in this, did you? What do you mean? And that woman. Adrian was quite brave herself, trying to stick the crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. But all I care about is that Juan is dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer? You're lying! That's terrible! It's way past your bedtime, little girl. Go on, let us grown-ups talk about more adult things. But why? Why did you hide the video camera and... A weakling soon believes the words of others. Just like that pathetic Adrian. He knew about Miss Andrews' secrets. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone. Least of all assassins. Huh? What? Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding the sinful deed over their heads. And a superstar like me? How much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess? And that's why? Yes, that's where the video comes in. It's got his face and the crime scene recorded on it. Preserved for all time. With that, I can keep him at bay. And even blackmail him if I want. That's right. That video is my insurance. Isn't that what they call it, Mr. Wright? Why would you do something so wrong? Because I'm a grown-up, and I can. Good enough of an answer for you, little girl. Is that beer? It's not the right color for wine. I don't know, it's like... I like to imagine it's like heavy liquor or something. It's not above his morale. Like he has any. Why? Why would you kill Mr. Karita? Because he was about to sling so much dung to my beautiful public image. Scandals are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it? If Mr. Karita had been able to give it, then Mr. Enguarde's secret would have... well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know? I had no interest in doing it, really. Bit by bit, it crept up on me. And then the situation just presented itself perfectly. How beautiful, I thought. And that's how Mr. Karita ended up dead? Let me tell you something. I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. People are simply things to be used. Used and thrown away. Put on a sweet innocent face and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it, the assassin too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone, all working their butts off for me, Matt on guard. Aw, did that leave you speechless? What a shame. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? You've grown awfully quiet. How could I have been so deceived by you all this time? When we first met, I asked if you had killed Juan Corrida. You answered very clearly that you hadn't killed anyone. Here now, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing was not the killer guy, right? All I'm guilty of is taking a cat nap in my room. You killed Mr. Corrida! I dare you to say that in court tomorrow. Aw, but too bad. You can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? You could always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? Aw, but you can't, can you? That will be one thing you absolutely can't do. Mystic Maya! You wouldn't want to test the killer. He's a man of his word, or so I hear. You could end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose. You scoundrel! So if I were you, Mr. Wright, Esquire, I think I would give it my all tomorrow. Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution. I'll get you for this! That's such a cliché phrase. Juan said something just like that, if memory serves. Of course, well, we all know how all things turn out for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. Maya. Maya, what am I supposed to do? And now you finally found it. The starting line of this case. Edgeworth. I don't care for the horde atmosphere here. Let's return to the precinct. Oh boy. This is not... We're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Well, right, what are you going to do? If you plan on changing your strategy... No! I can't do that! That's right, he's holding Maya hostage. What should I do? That's not something I can answer for you. Miss Edgeworth. Right, only you can decide where to go from here. 1 year ago, at that time, I didn't truly understand what a prosecutor was. That is why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. I felt that I couldn't stand in the court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, right? It's your turn. My turn? What is this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer. And you must find it on your own. I'm a lawyer. But to fight for someone who is clearly a killer... Matt on guard. That man is really... Ugh! It doesn't matter, Hope. Every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system? Proper defense? What exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal through shouting and trickery? Ironic that you, of all people, should say such a thing. Isn't that exactly how you have fought for your clients up until now? Well, that may be true, but that's because I believe my clients to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. If I were to get on guard and acquittal, that isn't a proper defense at all. I became a lawyer because I thought I could save people who were suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if I win the case, I still lose in the end. I just don't know what to do! Right. But get a hold of yourself. You have it all wrong. Huh? We aren't some sort of heroes. We're only human, you and I. You want to save someone? That's something easier said than done, wouldn't you say? That's... You are a defense attorney. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. That's all you can do. People like you and Franziska von Karma are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end, even when you know the truth is not with you. But I'm not like you. I can't fight for a false verdict. For a man I clearly know to be guilty. Franziska. She fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is her perfect win record. That's all. And is that the same as you? Is that why you ran away a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed? You are so petty! Wow, Phoenix. That's the truth of the beef, huh? I see. Now I understand why you despise me so. However, you are mistaken. What do you... Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record, I began to realize the error of my ways. I realized that things such as a perfect win record are meaningless. What? I don't believe you. Are you saying that is why you left the prosecutor's office? But then, why? Why are you here now? The answer to that is something you will find out on your own. I have faith you will see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. But if you can't, then you will be powerless to change the ending of this story.
Mr. Nick, the transceiver!
Uh-oh. Still a bit of a jerk move that he didn't let anyone know that he was still alive. Though his motives for leaving are understandable. Yeah, we still have a right to be mad at him at least. I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Now then, Mr. Attorney, do you wager you can obtain an acquittal tomorrow? I don't know, okay? Leave me be. My. What is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time. Tell me, please. Why are you holding Maya hostage for Miss Angard's sake? Why are you doing this for that cold-blooded killer? Right. Please don't misunderstand things. He is my client. Don't toy with me! A man who hires an assassin is just as much of a killer himself. I believe you were asking me for a reason as to why I'm doing what I am. Yeah. This is what I like to call my aftercare. What the heck is aftercare? My name carries a certain amount of honor and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure that no suspicion falls upon my client for my handiwork. That is what is called client relations. And it is a part of an assassin's duty. An assassin's duty. We were unlucky this time, and my client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to do, and enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney. And to assure that you would do everything in your power to the very end. What is your name? I believe I told you once before. However, you did, but... My name is... The Killer. Shelly the Killer. You're Shelly the Killer! Please keep in mind you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As the Killer, I always finish what I set out to do. If you fail to keep up your end of the bargain, Maya, it would be my duty as an assassin to see so she receives a nice long nap. No! Now then, if you'll excuse me, if someone were to trace the signal back to me, it would be quite troublesome. Shoo! Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! I don't know what to say. Edgeworth! Hmm? Did you hear that? At the end of the transmission! The cat! Huh? Oh, that. Sounded like a cat. A cat? It can't be! It's cat, get it? What is it? I think I know why Shelly the killer is holding Maya hostage. Edgeworth, have all police units head for On Guard Mansion immediately. Do it now! Alright, you hurry over as well then. Don't lose hope yet, Pearls. The fight has only just begun. Yeah! Immediately! Come on. Maya! Please answer us, Mystic Maya! We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. Assuming he's still in the area. Can't believe it. That butler! All this time he was the killer. Really, Wright? Really? He and On Guard were working together all this time. I'm sure they've worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. Oh, it's a figurine of a bear! There are a lot of cuts in it for some reason. A bear? Is that more of a thing for Mr. Kurita? Why would something like this be here? Right, look down. There's a little pet door installed there. I'm sure that's for Shu. You think this came through that little door? This door. It's locked. Well, I'm pretty used to breaking doors down by now. Let's go, Edgeworth. Go! Bingo! There's no one here. From the looks of this room, I would say this is On Guard's private lounge. Look at this, right? An antenna for sending and receiving signals from VCR. Check inside the desk. If there's a tape, it will be an important piece of evidence. If we're lucky, it'll have the moment the crime was recorded on it. I'm sorry, but tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found. Ugh. No! But there's no mistake that someone used this to record something. It looks like someone took the tape we're looking for and escaped with it. The cellar! She's not here. We searched all over. It looks like he got away. Oh. I'm sorry. Looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. And now we've lost our only lead. Don't give up yet. The little girl is looking to you to be her pillar. Yeah, you're right. We're close. I can tell. We've already set up checkpoints along every route leading out of this district. Leave the rest to us. Maya. This looks like a picture of Miss Impax. With love, Celeste.
Miss Impax, you mean?
Yes, Mr. Kurita's former manager.
Why would a picture of Miss Impax be here in Mr. On Guard's mansion?
And why does it say with love? This might be a clue. What's wrong, Pearls?
Please let me see that picture frame.
Huh? What's so special about the frame?
On the back, there's something written on the back of the frame. Maya? It's Mystic Maya! She left us a message!
What?
I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You better get On Guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Ever! I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Pearly, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's gotta watch out for the helpless lunk. That's it for now, Nick. Guess I'll talk to you guys later. No! Mystic Maya!
Right. What's wrong? Why the blank stare? Oh, nothing. We've searched the house, and this is the last room. It looks like he eluded us. Edgeworth. Yes? As far as clues go, I think this is about all I'm going to get. And I'm still short of one last thing. And what is that? That thing from Alien Andrews. Miss Andrews' psyche lock. If I could just find out what secret she's holding, then I think I stand a chance in court tomorrow. To blow this case wide open and expose the truth. I think I know what she's thinking. I'll contact the detention center. Thanks, Ainsworth. Well, let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock. Good evening, Mr. Wright. What's wrong? You look ill. Miss Andrews, I have come to remove your psyche lock. Psyche lock? I want to know, and you will tell me. Your secrets. Fine, go ahead. Try to break me if you can. This will be a fight! But it's gonna be worth it. Let's go. We're working late, considering court opens at like 8 in the morning. Yeah. That's why I always sneak in at night. Why frame him? Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. On Guard for the murder? I've already told you countless times. It's because I thought Matt was the killer. No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Mr. On Guard. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge. So you were saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt. And that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people. There is something or someone in her past that will make her take revenge. Celeste. Celeste. There's only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings and even revenge. And that is Miss Impact's ending. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hit her last note was also Juan. What does this all have to do with Matt? You're right, you haven't mentioned him. Yet. But for you to hate Mr. On Guard, it would mean that he must have done... that it has some relation to Mrs. Impact and her act. Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Matt? The picture frame. This is a photo of Miss Impact, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away, though. With love, Celeste. This is Miss Impact's handwriting, isn't it? Where did you find this? No, that's alright. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found this at Mr. On Guard's mansion. And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. Yes. What is it? It's gonna be very tragic, isn't it? Why frame him? Celeste. She was supposed to get married to Juan. Yes, but I heard that it didn't work out. Because Mr. Kurita didn't want to get married to her anymore, right? Yes. Because of Matt. Because of Mr. On Guard? What do you mean? Think I can see where this is going. Celeste. She was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at the time. Oh. I was working part-time back then, and I often saw the two of them together. So that's why. With love, Celeste is written on the frame of that picture. They were a couple, weren't they? It wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used. Toyed with until she was thrown away. That's so horrible. Matt's entire image is built around how nice and wonderful of a man he is. A scandal would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste, in her kindness, moved over to Worldwide Studios. That is where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him. Even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan were such a good match that they were even planning to get married. Then, it was suddenly called off. On the night Juan called their marriage off, Celeste, she ended herself. And that's why I framed Matt. It was revenge for Celeste and for myself. I'm sure you can Even you can guess why Juan called the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. I see. So that's what happened.
But why did Mr. Karina have to call off the wedding? I don't understand at all.
It was probably because of his worthless male pride. Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. Matt waited for the wedding announcement and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most.
Or Miss Impax?
That wasn't the end of it. That day, Mom was certain that Celeste left the last note behind. And in that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds and... so that she would never again be heard by Matt. She chose to die. Then when Juan discovered her body, he hid her note.
But why would he do that?
It's simple. Juan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt. It would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image. In any case. With his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge. Revenge. There's that word again. Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that last note. At a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. And that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it, because I heard it all from Juan. It was so I could find out about all this that I drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. That night, when I found Juan's body, it was only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on one another after all. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's last note. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was going to burn it. I had even brought a lighter. But I couldn't find the last note. And that's when revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring them my own kind of cruel revenge. Celeste was killed by those two monsters. So when I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? I'm a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for your time and for talking with me. It was no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway. Can't sleep either. Not with Maya's situation. Or with what I know now. And with that, I think we're done for today. Yeah, I think we're done for today. Why was I smiling, Jeebus? Wrong button. The story is getting spicy indeed. We need to bring him down, but Maya is still stuck. How do we do this? Too bad, but I guess you can't get a whole trial in like half an hour, yeah. I have been streaming for more than 3 hours, so... And from the guessing, like, part 1 of the trial, it's gonna be a doozy, so... And hey, it's gonna be a more epic finale for next time. Yeah, the ending is gonna be long as well. Every person's account through the game as well. Yeah, and I'm feeling pretty tired myself. I need this candy to keep me alive. I will take a piece of it after I'm done streaming. But it was... I actually managed to hold on for pretty long, which is really good. I'm proud of myself for that. And thank you for everyone who came by today. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. So yeah. So the next be the Halloween stream. And the conclusion of this case the week after that. No. We still have... The Halloween stream is gonna... either going to be on the 29th or the 31st. Depends on how busy I will be. But we still have next week, the 22nd, for the finale. Which is great! And if I will have time on the 31st, then the 29th is just going to be a just chatting stream. Yeah, it's going to be... it's perfectly timed! It's perfectly timed. I'm excited for it as well. Things are going according to plan. I can't wait to see what I can't wait for you guys to see what I've prepared for this Halloween stream. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. You should look forward to it as well. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching, everyone. And I will see you next time for the grand finale of Justice for All. Yeah, looking forward to it. Oh, you will miss the streams? That's a shame. But hey, I will make sure that it will be uploaded on my YouTube on time. So check out my YouTube. Yeah, I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.